Streamlit native authentication is available starting 1.42, dear data fans. To showcase this long-awaited feature, I built a Streamlit store landing page with a sign-up button that sends you to an Auth0 login page. From there, you can create a new email password account or log in with your Google account. I can then reuse your authenticated email on the Python side to spam you, as a unique identifier in a database to track your app usage or link you to a Stripe payment subscription. All it requires on the Streamlit side is a client ID and secret from your preferred identity provider. Well, in this video, I will show you how to configure native Google authentication. I will repeat the process for Auth0. Then you can follow the same principles with others like Supabase, Discord or Keycloak. The moment you click on the sign up button, your Streamlit app uses an OAuth client to teleport you to the Google login window. To enable this flow, you need to configure a Google OAuth client to teleport you, to register a redirect URI so the client knows where to teleport you back after login, and to download the redirect URI plus OAuth client ID and secret back to the Streamlit secrets file. Create a new Google Cloud project in the Google Cloud console. Search for Google Auth client and proceed to the Google Auth platform clients tab. Create a new client, make sure to choose the web application type, and here is your shiny new teleporter. Browse into the properties page of the client and you should find the client ID and client secret on the right. Copy-paste those back to your Streamlit secrets TOML file in the Auth Google section. Step 1 over. Now I need to tell Google where to send me back after a successful login. Navigate to your OAuth client, then scroll down to the authorized redirect URI field. For now, your Streamlit app is configured to listen for authentication callbacks on localhost/OAuth to callback, so let's use that. Fill the redirect URI field and paste it into your secrets TOML file. While you're there, generate a random cookie secret field. Think of this cookie secret as a digital key. It ensures only you can read the user info Google sends you back after login, so make it as strong and random as possible. Remember, if you're hosting your app on Streamlit Cloud or your own virtual private server, you have to provide the full URL/OAuth to callback. Now Streamlit can teleport you to a Google login form, and Google can teleport you back to Streamlit. But your Streamlit app is still missing one last piece of information to contact the proper Google servers. It needs a server metadata URL. It's generally a fixed URL that each identity provider provides that you can search for on Google. Now that you are done with your secrets file, let's see it in action. In a Streamlit script, add a ST-login with the Google argument inside a button. Install Auth0 in your Python environment and run your Streamlit app. The ST-login call will look for the Google section of the Auth configuration, use the provided client ID and secret to build an OAuth client, and initiate the OpenID Connect Auth flow to a Google login. Sign in with your Google account and you will be sent back to your Streamlit app with new powers. Because you got redirected with a new weapon, the session cookie, which will find its home on your browser and keep you signed in for 30 days. When Streamlit finds that cookie, it will decipher your authenticated user info into the ST experimental user object. This deciphered sword contains a lot of different attributes, some even depending on the identity provider. There are a few that will prove useful. For example, the isLoggedIn will turn true when you are logged in. I use it to hide or show admin page for a multi-page app. I'll display my info in the app with the first name and picture attributes, and sometimes I check the IDP tenant domain to see if the email comes from a particular organization like your school or your company. Finally, you can delete the cookie with stlogout. If you play with this simple demo, you'll find out there are a few more quirks to configure on the Google Auth platform for the demo to work perfectly. In the Audience tab, you can switch between testing and production status for your OAuth clients. In testing mode, only you and users you manually add as testing users can access your app. If you want authentication to work for more people by deploying the app in the cloud, you need to pass status to production. Note that if you change the name and logo of the Google login page in the Branding tab or add any sensitive scopes to the data access, which you shouldn't really have to because you're only doing authentication, you'll need to go through a verification step in the Center tab before going to production. So I tend to not edit my app name and logo for the smaller Streamlit apps. That's it for Google Authentication in 7 clicks and 6 lines. If you want to know whether a service like Apple, Spotify, Discord, Hugging Face can be used by Streamlit Authentication, search for their OpenID Connect capabilities, because that's the protocol we are using. Does it mean to offer multiple social logins to your users like Google, Twitter, LinkedIn, Twitch, etc., you need to add OAuth0 configuration for each provider? That's where Auth as a service platforms like Auth0, Firebase Auth, or Supabase Auth come in handy because they abstract away the complexity of managing multiple identity providers. And they have decent free tiers. Auth0 is capped at 25k users, yet my Streamlit Micro SaaS has only got like 100 accounts, so yeah. Let me create the client ID and secret for Auth0. The experience should be similar with Supabase or Keycloak. Create an Auth0 tenant on a new account. I imagine a tenant to be like a dedicated project. In the Applications tab, create a new regular web application. Jump over the Quick Start template to the Settings section to copy and paste the domain, client ID, and client secret into your Streamlit secrets file under a new Auth0 subsection. The server metadata URL will be your domain / well-known OpenID configuration, and you can add specific login arguments with the client quarks like prompt equals login to force the user to log in every time it goes through Auth0. More documentation about login arguments in the description below. Grab the localhost OAuth0 callback redirect and paste it back into Auth0's allowed callback URL. Now Auth0 knows where to send you back after a successful login. Speaking of redirects, since Auth0 will take care of Google Authentication for us, shouldn't we also register Auth0 as a redirect of Google login? So let's handle Google Authentication from Auth0 now. Navigate to the social menu and create a new connection. You will be presented with all social identity providers Auth0 can pre-configure for you. Select the Google provider to open its setup page. It's asking you for a Google client ID and secret. If you only want to test the connection just for fun, you can leave them blank to use a limited set of Auth0 credentials, but if you're in it for real, you know where to find those now. And here's the great thing, Auth0 creates a setup guide for each social login provider. Open Google's setup guide to find all the steps to configure your own Google OAuth0 client, like we previously did. You already completed most of those, but there are some additional requirements now to authorize Google to redirect to Auth0 before Auth0 redirects to Streamlit. Back to the Google client parameters, add your Auth0 domain as an authorized JavaScript origin and the Auth0 domain login callback as a redirect endpoint. Check in the branding section that Auth0 appears as an authorized domain. With this, Google and Auth0 are now ready to dance, and you can enable your web application from the Google connection. I'll let you create an email with password database and enable it in your app so it accepts both login methods. Then head back to your Streamlit app edit ST-login to use Auth0 instead of Google, and Streamlit will now redirect to the Auth0 login with both email and Google sign-ins. Want even more logins? There is a setup guide for each social login provider from this list. I read a few of them, and some of them are a little tricky, like Apple's require a log.js file, which I'm not really sure Streamlit can use like this. So I'm glad Auth0 seems to be taking care of this for us. There is so much more to talk about in Auth0, like user permission roles, attaching a Stripe account to user metadata with a backend action, multi-factor authentication, Office 365 or Salesforce Enterprise login, but it's nice to see all those features enabled just from Streamlit native authentication. I want to try linking Stripe to a user next so we get payment subscription. So subscribe to the channel to stay tuned, and I'll see you around. Bye!